messing around.
Loft meeting. Pew, pew, pew. Hey, roomies, I am calling a loft meeting. You know, it's my favorite thing to do on the mess around is to get your questions, comments, concerns, stories, tidbits, all the things. We read it right here live on this podcast, give you the feedback. This is what this is all about. You know, this podcast is a love letter to everybody who loves New Girl. We gotcha. So let's go in hot. We're coming in with a letter from Johnny. All right. It says, hi, Lamorne and Hannah. New Girl is my all-time favorite show, and I love listening to you recap episodes every week on this podcast. I've been watching New Girl since it originally aired, and I've never stopped watching. Every time I finish season 7, I start again with season 1. I love every New Girl character so much that it's impossible for me to choose a favorite. It's my comfort show, the show I turn on when I have nothing else to watch, and the show I play in the background when I'm working from home. It has been such a relatable show for me throughout my entire young adult life. Oh, I love this. I love that we've been along for the ride. My 29th birthday was this week, and I was thrilled to proclaim that I was 29, the way that Schmidt does in season 1, episode 10. The story of the 50. I found a 29 Schmidt shirt on Etsy at the beginning of the year. Oh, by the way, Johnny, if you love New Girl merch, you know, Lamorne and I noticed that there wasn't any official New Girl merch. So we created our own. Check this little shirt out called The Mess Around. A classic. If you go to themessaroundpod.com, you can see all the merch that we have designed for you New Girl fans. And you can pick it up there. So you found this shirt. Okay, so I found a 29 Schmidt shirt on Etsy at the beginning of the year and was so excited to wear it on my 29th birthday. Funny enough, my birthday and party ended up being somewhat of a disaster, but not without its good moments. Very similar to Schmidt's 29th birthday. At the end of the day, I had to wonder if I had manifested this chaotic birthday after over a decade of looking forward to my 29th birthday. One more thing I want to share with you. My lifelong best friend, Kara, and I used to watch new episodes of New Girl together when they aired on Tuesday nights at 9:30. The show became so special for us that when she got married 5 years ago, in Kara's speech at her rehearsal dinner, she referred to me as the Cece to her Jess. We both couldn't stop crying. You're going to make me cry. We don't live near each other anymore, but every time we visit each other, we watch our favorite episode, Spider Hunt. Every single line of that episode is pure comedy gold. We laughed so hard we cried literal tears the first time we watched Spider Hunt, specifically when Jess and Nick had the conversation about the popcorn machine at the bar and the idea of Nick and Cece dating. Thank you for over a decade of love and laughter. And thank you for doing this podcast for New Girl fans like me. Love, Johnny. Attached are photos of me in my 29 Schmidt shirt and my best friend Kara and me on her wedding day. Oh my gosh, you both are so beautiful. Oh, this picture is so great. I feel the love. You guys kind of look like us too. That's crazy. Oh, that's so sweet. You know, funny thing. And a diehard fan like you will appreciate this about that popcorn episode with the popcorn machine, because of that whole conversation about the smell. And it's funny, it was early on for me, and I was so concerned about doing everything I could to protect anything that could seem as like a bad stereotype or bad jokes that I'd heard about like my culture growing up or something. And one of them was always that like Indian food smelled. And if you ate Indian food, then you smelled. That was just, mean kids in school. That was just like something that was always said. And so when that was like the misunderstood joke, I remember of that episode, I remember going and talking to the producers and being like, I feel like this reminds me of like bad jokes that were made around Indian people. And they kind of looked at me in like the sweetest way, because they were like, oh, no, we didn't even think of that. That's not the intention. And I promise you, with this joke, it's never going to come across that way. No fans are going to feel that way about it. No one's going to make that same connection that you did. And this maybe helps in a little way of just like, this joke being about something totally different. And so many times we did this all with each other. We kind of had to do a trust fall on New Girl a little bit. And I did it with them. And they were right. They were right. That joke totally worked. And it was just my own small, tiny little trigger. And it helped me kind of push through it in my own way. So it was actually a little bit of like a healing fun thing that happened in that. And it was one of also those moments where I realized how lucky we were to have the producers and creative team we had on that show, that if you ever felt uncomfortable, they would hear you, they would listen to you, talk it through with you. And if a change needed to be made, it was made. And if they needed you to trust them a little bit, they were usually right about it. You know, they'd been doing this for a lot longer at that point than I ever had. So that's so funny. That's what I think about when I think about that popcorn episode. It stands out for me because it was a moment where I realized like, oh, this is my own little thing to work out from mean kids in my life. And it really kind of cemented some trust with me and the producers, which was a wonderful thing. Thank you so much for that. Oh my gosh. The CC to my Jess. I love that so much. All right. Another letter. Love this from Lisa. Hi, my name is Lisa and I live in Tokyo. Thank you so much for all the joy you've brought through New Girl. It's my ultimate comfort show and always helps me calm down and manage my anxieties. I especially love the episode where the gang traveled to Portland and New York. I'd love to ask if the New Girl gang had an episode set abroad. What city outside of the U.S. would you choose? And how do you think their personalities would shine in that setting? Thanks again for the podcast. I really appreciate it. Oh my gosh, this was a very common conversation amongst the cast because I think the year before Modern Family had gone to Hawaii or something. It was like that, just like the year or two before, so many big comedies did do that. They had like an episode abroad doing something wild. And so we're like, oh, we're going to get to do this too. And it never happened. New Girl never got to go and shoot somewhere else, which is pretty funny. I don't know why. I think it just had changed. Like the culture around comedy had changed and what they were doing. But so where would we go? I feel like we would have all loved Hawaii. Just personally, as actors, it would have been fun to kind of be somewhere that was like, felt like a bit of a vacation. But where do I think that their personalities have really shined? If I'm being honest, it would be to go to London. I mean, can you imagine Jess in London? She would be in heaven. Nick, just at all the pubs, he would be in heaven. Schmidt, with the fashion and the scarves and the walking the London streets, heaven. Cece is a model, heaven. I mean, all of it. Winston, oh my gosh, he may have flipped from, cats to dogs with the corgis and the queen. You never know. I think that London actually would have been a perfect spot to send the New Girl cast. I think that would have been great. Or Paris, maybe, because I can definitely see in the rain and like the melancholy, like Nick Miller just loving it there so much. And Jess, oh my God, in Paris. Come on. Maybe one of those two. I will say about the Portland episode, another one that's really funny to remember because we shot it, I feel like in Glendale or Pasadena, somewhere like that. We shot it there. And it was supposed to be, it's LA. It's sunny all the time here, you guys. It's very rare to have like, quote unquote, like weather. It just happened that day to pour rain. And so they had to scramble and go get umbrellas. And the whole thing was like set outside. Like so much of that was set outside. And so they'd had that little, like the little kind of running rickshaw thing. And they had that, they had that to be done in the sunshine. No one was supposed to be doing that running in the rain. And so it was a very helpful thing as an actor because you felt like you were in the Pacific Northwest with this pouring rain and we were all freezing cold because no one was prepared for the rain. So that was just, I guess, lucky for the show because it definitely read like we were in Portland. But no, we were just like 20 minutes away from the studio, I think in Pasadena on a very rare rainy day. And we were all very chilly. But yeah, lucky for the show, I guess. All right, here we go. A next letter is from Lauren. Hi again, Hannah and Lamorne. Lauren from Georgia here. Wanted to give you an update about the boyfriend situation and why I think you're Cece. Just listen to the pod and first, thank you so much for reading my letter. I was seriously fangirling. Oh, I love this, Lauren. But reason boyfriend asked me to stop watching because I would watch it non-stop. Definitely not in a mean way. I just literally watched it all the time. I can imagine Who's That Girl? It's Jess. Every 20 minutes might bother someone, but not me. I was a serious binge watcher. Oh, you know what? It's funny. I have 3 shows that I used to watch like that on loop constantly. One was Fawlty Towers, that TV show with John Cleese and Prunella Scales. I can verbatim. I can recite the entire thing. Moonstruck, that movie, on loop, can recite it verbatim. And Coming to America. I know them all like the back of my hand. And there definitely was a point, I feel like, when I had roommates where they're like, I don't know how much more Fawlty Towers we can watch, Hannah. And I was so in the zone with it that it wasn't like but like it was just like air. Like it just didn't bump me or anything. It was just like having like, my mom in the room or something. It just always felt so comfortable. But yes, I can also relate that other people probably were like, I think we're done with watery fowls. The reason you give me Cece vibes is because you're so calm and kind. Cece is Jess's best friend, but also the best kind of friend. Cece always had her back, and I imagine that's the kind of friend you are in real life. You, Hannah, are just so chill and laid back, and even though Cece is a model, and she does like to party and go out with her model friends here and there, she's so humble. Again, just how I'd imagine you as Hannah. Cece doesn't let anyone mess around, no pun intended. LOL with her or her friends, and I feel like you, Hannah, would be the same. I know all of us viewers see you through the pod. We don't actually know the real Hannah Simone, but I could imagine you were similar to Cece, kind, humble, a great friend, and also could be a model. Cece always wants the best for people around her and never settles for less, so I definitely feel that it was genuine for you, Hannah, to play someone like Cece. Oh, so much love, Lauren. Thanks, Lauren. I always say when I read that pilot, and, Cece in the pilot gets to go and like, her best friend has moved in with 3 guys off of Craigslist. And she gets to kind of walk in and she's like just reading these guys up and down. Like, is my friend safe here? Are you going to hurt her? What's going on? She just has like, she's not interested in these men like romantically or anything whatsoever. She's just there to be like a sister. And you never see Jess and Cece fight over the same guy. Ever. They always have each other's back, and any little squabble they have is between the two of them, like sisters. And I remember reading it, and it was so refreshing because it is how I am as like a girlfriend to my girlfriends. Like, I'm the girlfriend you absolutely want, like, to if you got your boyfriend with you, because I'm looking him up and down being like, listen, bro, you better take care of my girl, otherwise I'm gonna kill you. So I never related to a character more because that's definitely how I am in my girlfriendships. That's definitely how I hold my girls down for sure. Yeah, it was very rare to see, and I could relate to her so deeply. So yeah, I guess. And this was the genius of being able to be like on a show for so long and to be in a character for so long, and the genius of the team behind it, Liz and Brett and Dave and all of our incredible writers and directors, was that they allowed us to bring a lot of us into the characters. They kind of worked with what they had. And so a lot of our natural nature did end up being embedded in the character, and they, made space for that. So, yeah, I got a lot of CC in me. That's very true. Well, thanks, Lauren. Well, that's our show, you guys. Please, 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 please send in videos, pictures, voice notes, any questions you have, any mysteries you want solved about New Girl to themessaroundpod@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Instagram @themessaroundpod. Merch, like I said, I rock it all day long. Go to themessaroundpod.com, snap it up. We do drops all the time, new colors, new styles, so check it out. We're going to take a little break for the holidays. We're going to air some classic episodes, but we will be back in January to pick up the rewatch right where we left off. And y'all know what's coming, right? You know what's coming. The Prince episode. And we got a good one for you. A good one. You will not want to miss it. January 2025. Be here listening. Okay? Happy holidays, everyone. Bye.